Hello, I'm Jamboree and welcome to another edition of Hellmation. For those of you that don't know what this show is, well, it's kind of a web series that documents the making of my student's animation, Mel and the Devil's Deal. Now, what's Mel and the Devil's Deal about? Well, an animator called Mel makes a pact with the devil, and unfortunately the consequences that all the cartoons that he's drawn come to life and chase after him. So yeah, this is a very special episode because I'm right now in the studio at my university, a studio provided for animation students, and it's an amazing place to be. Really inspiring. Some wonderful talents around you, great supervising tutors, great resources. So I'm going to give you a little tour of the studio before I show you my set. Now, first of all, I would like to talk about this animation table. There are plenty of these tables in the studio, but this one's very special because it can be broken apart and used in inventive ways. But yeah, a lot of stop motion students will use it. But most importantly, the money that was used to buy this table was funded by Nick Park himself, the creator of Wallace and Gromit. That's interesting, isn't it? Okay, if you come with me, you can see that there are plenty of Mac computers available for CGI students that specialize in Studio Max or After Effects or any other kind of digital program. It's also for tracing for the hand-drawn students, but we sometimes use them to listen to music as well while we're animating, so they've got many different purposes. And if you come this way, and if you come over here, you can see the light desks, which are used by the hand-drawn animation students. We have some really talented people making some hand-drawn shorts this year, really talented artists, really great at drawing. So I'll briefly explain what a light desk is and how they're used to benefit the hand-drawn students. Okay, so first of all, they put a piece of paper onto the light desk. Now this light's going to help them trace. And so they draw the first frame, and then put another paper on top, trace over, but have their character do a slight bit of movement. And so once they've done loads and loads of different frames, they will be able to accomplish some really ambitious movements and get their character to do something like a walk forward, a walk backwards, a wave, anything like that. So that's a light desk. And if you come this way, you can see the set for Mel and the Devil's Deal. Now, as you can see, the light is really bright, so I might be a bit of a shadow, but here's the set for Mel and the Devil's Deal. So I'll explain a bit more. If you come this way, come on up. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to explain about the camera. Now, this is a Nikon D60. I don't know that much about cameras, so I can't go into any technical details, but this is the camera model that I've been using. I've been borrowing it from the university stores. Now, the thing is that, unfortunately, the D60 lens doesn't go that far unless you push the camera forward. So what I have been using quite a lot is a macro lens. Now, a macro lens will help me get really good extreme close-up shots, which is perfect, absolutely perfect. It's really benefited me. So I kind of switch between the D60 lens and the macro lens and just jump between those to take my pictures. Okay, so as you can see, the Nikon D60 is connected to this software, Stop Motion Pro. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is move one of these puppets. So I'm going to move the devil's hand, only a tiny bit, or it'll look like it skipped a frame. And then I pretty much press this button here. Probably can't see it that well. And then it loads, and it tracks a little bit of movement, only a tiny bit. So I have to keep doing this over and over and over until I can establish an entire cycle of movement. Now, one of the things that I need to take into account while my characters are speaking are the sounds for each letter. Now, to do this, I use something called a dope sheet, which is very effective. Now, a dope sheet, what I've done is I've gone through each line and noted down the sound for each couple of seconds, and so the end result is this. Okay? So I have to keep referring to this so I know which mouthpiece to use. So as you can see, I have a guide for each letter so that I know which mouthpiece to use for each second, each frame. Okay? So there's a different mouth for each letter. Now the mouths are very tiny, as you can see, and when you remove them from a puppet, it can kind of knock their head, so you have to reposition their head. And another thing I have to do is move Mel's pupils. And as you can see, they are very, very tiny, so I have to use a little tiny stick, because they are so tiny, and I have to move them slightly up, slightly whichever way that I want. That includes the eyebrows. You can see how tiny the eyebrows are. So there's so many things I have to take into account while animating this project. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this edition of Hellmation. I really wanted people to get to know this studio that I'm working at and the stuff that I'm using, kind of like paint a picture for everyone about behind the scenes of Mel and the Devil's Deal. Now, I'm not sure what other episodes I'm going to be producing because, well, there's only 3 weeks of production left, so there's not much else I can really do, but I'll have a think. Maybe I can come up with some other things to talk about. If you'd like to check out other stuff that I work on outside of university, then check out my series Jamboree Reviews, which is a show that critically analyzes animated films from Europe, the West, Asia, all sorts of things. So yeah, feel free to check out that. There's Let's Plays, interviews with celebrities that work in animation and other talents. So yeah, there's plenty to check out on my channel, and you can go to jamboree.com for even more fun stuff. So, see you guys